He's a teacher, he's a geek, he's a battle rapper, he's going to be losing at Risk later on. He's Mark Grist. Hello. Hello.
I'm really pleased to be here for like so many reasons. Everyone's been so friendly, so welcome. Fantastic support acts. Everything's been great so far. One of the main reasons I'm pleased to be here, though, is that I live in Peterborough. Has anyone here ever been to Peterborough? A while ago, I was asked by the mayor of Peterborough to write a love poem to our city. And I found this really difficult because, like, the love I have for Peterborough isn't the kind of love you've got when you're in, like, a new relationship and everything's, like, really exciting and amazing. It's more the kind of love you've got when you've been in a relationship for too long, but you've got a mortgage. So I wrote her this. It's entirely true. It's about my city. If you don't know anything about Peterborough, you will do from this. It's called Come to Peterborough. Come to Peterborough, a city of unusual beauty. Houses so cheap we don't pay stamp duty. Our tea may be called the posh, but believe me, they ain't snooty, because they still head out to Liquid when they want to shake their booty. Come to Peterborough, the birthplace of George Alcock, MBE. We're one of 4 environmental cities thanks to our greenery. You can eat out at Pizza Express or taking a play at the Key and enjoy the slightly sexist writing in a copy of our ESP. That's why I moved, that's what I did, and I was a teacher. I thought what I would do, because I'm going to do a few pieces about being a teacher, I thought I would kind of shoot back a little bit to my own experience of growing up, and I thought I'd give you an honest picture of what I was like as a school kid. And so this is an honest piece about the first time I ever fell in love. And she was much prettier than her name suggests, because she was called Beth Builder. When I was 10 years old, I knew that her name was alliterative, but that's not why she'd give me thrills running past the classroom windowsill. A short skirt, a shrill shriek whenever she ran home from school. See, Beth Builder was gorgeous in a way that you just couldn't score it. She was beauty in the way that Tony Hart would draw it. And the primary school rumour mill was green and in full grind because Beth Builder had said she fancied me. Yeah, I know, she told Liz Windell behind the Cadbury's factory. It was only a matter of time till she would maybe even talk to me. Say it. I don't know what it was, but those words had a kind of scalpel effect on me. I yelped, I dropped the phone to Beth's laughter, tripped on the directory. Apparently, it was the first time that baby had said 2 words consecutively, but I didn't care. I'd offered her my heart. She'd taken all that I was and she'd ripped it apart. And I promised myself I'd forever walk the path that had no girls, no handstands, no stringy onions, forever and ever and ever. But I got over it. And now I'm a teacher and I'm a writer, and I'm happy with both. And I figured I'd done pretty well with the scope of ability in my control, but even so, something within me stirs at the thought of Beth Builder. Anyone here works with teenagers at all? We've got a few nods and stuff. Yeah, nods and like kind of like, yeah. The thing that I find really frustrates me about working with teenagers, if anyone asks you what you do and you say, for example, I'm a teacher, you get this response sometimes that's just like, oh, you're so brave. Oh wow, look at you, Angel. Oh, you're so brave. Because obviously kids used to be perfect and now they're awful. And it's just, you know, society falling apart and kids now are dreadful. They have no understanding of it, you know, broken Britain, all this kind of stuff. And it does my head in, it absolutely does my head in. So I wrote this poem about it, and I've got to kind of give a shout out to Taylor Malley as well, because his piece, What the Teachers Make, really inspired me to write this. But it goes like this. The starter's removed, the main course emerges. And when I'm asked what I do for a living, our host's reaction verges on the incredulous. Half-digested food that's been fed to us spittoons from his grizzled lips, and he leans in, snarls and quips. A teacher, eh? Wouldn't catch me wasting my time with today's youth, just a bunch of grubby little shits. The wolves laugh around him, applaud the wit that he has fired. His wife smooths my arm like it was tablecloth, purrs, No wonder he looks so tired. The room erupts again and I laugh too, because, you know, she's right. Like, I am pretty tired. I'm tired from a day spent saying, tuck in that shirt. From getting kids into lines, making girls unroll their skirts. I'm tired of setting tests to the grumbling, the complaining. Exams get me stressed, giving detentions can be draining. And who'd have guessed it be so tiring, making lessons entertaining? Kids don't care because someone's farted. Or had a nosebleed. Or it's just fucking raining. And I'm tired of working with artists. That's true as well. I'm tired of working with artists, with athletes, with dancers. I'm tired of asking questions till I realise, like, maybe I don't know all the answers. And then I'm tired from watching the sparks that fly behind young eyes. The heroes born in the classroom, the self-worth they realise. And then those other kids. The ones where you have to tie on a line, dive deep inside, rescue the battered shreds of confidence that another adult rusted up inside. I'm tired of scrabbling at those locks, dredging back those pearls and saying, well done, I'll see you next week. Then I'm back out into the world. I'm tired of teaching Year 8 boys that flirting isn't just kicking girl. I read that poem 14 times, interspersed with a range of limericks and other stuff I had. And one other poem that was like oh, this is actually kind of about food. And I'm going to do that for you now. Basically, this was based upon my local pub and like small town drama is what it's called. And this is no, it's not a true story. Like, it's vaguely true, but it's not a true story. But it's about why our pub was closed. And see if you can spot the food item that gets a mention. It goes like this. At first, no one knew why the pub was closed. But drama spread like mustard in our small town. And by the time the doors did open, local lips were sealed tight with the 3-day-old squeals we'd heard about at midnight. The bleating kids clutching their rucksacks tight, while Mike from the bike shop had lifted the boot up. He told the landlord it was over, he'd been keeping her cooped up, and she'd squawked in the headlights, flapped amidst her flight. Her shrill voice had insisted she was tired of this life. She was tired of the fights, she was tired of telling lies, and so her tyres told the truth across the tarmac out of sight. And so when we went back to that pub, we were all just so surprised to see the landlord still there, his shirt ironed, his smile firm in place. He was chuckling over frothing pints, contentment on his face, with those eyebrows and cheeks shaking. You could have been mistaken for thinking that he was happy. Except this huge wall display of olives that had always been behind him was now gone. These neon green and black jars that had dominated the bar space, where she'd swooped in and replaced the scratchings, the pickled eggs and uncouth snacks with olives instead, now those jars were sacked from the back bar. And although we'd heard he'd said nothing as she'd driven off in that car, in the calmness of his surrender, the olives had been his only scalp. He'd ripped them out, let out one last desperate masculine shout by replacing them with pork pies. Yes, upon pork pies. And like a corkscrew crusade of a desperate vessel, he sank safe within his fort of brown, crusty testicles. And so, yeah, he did seem the same, but for these fatty centuries that sat watching him wish for those long-lost years back. And he never, ever grumbled. He never once mentioned the kids. But every Friday when he'd offer us a pie to go with our pint, we just stopped laughing. And our lives and our loves seemed so easy and hasty as we became conscious of the welt of pain that was dangling from his neck that he'd sloppily bandaged with gelatin and pastry. And then I decided to go back to my old school. I was like, I've achieved something great. Went back to the old school, and you know what? The head was like a bit nervous about having me back in. I didn't really think about it at the time, but she was nervous. And then she took me in, and we kind of went through, and she tried to keep me away from the kids during break time and lunchtime. And normally I'd go out and play football with them or something, so I was a bit baffled. And then as I left, and I came out of school, the kids all ran to the gates and stuff, and they all started chanting, "You wank off in sandals to pictures of Gandalf." Do you know what I mean? And for a moment I was just like, is this my legacy? And you realise suddenly how hard that is. I wrote an apology letter to Mrs. Green as well. Like, I wrote an apology. Yeah. No, she was cool. Like, she was cool about it. And so I decided I'd go and do another battle. I don't know if people seen that my battle with Zayn Azro, but I was like, yeah, fine. You know, I'll cut all that stuff out. And the deep irony about it is, I cut all that stuff out, and and I lost. And I lost, and I don't think it was because I didn't have any of the stuff, but the thing that was really cool is that my battle with Blizzard is now officially like the most viewed battle, like UK battle rap ever on YouTube. And not only that, but the battle with Zayn Azray is the most disliked battle UK battle rap ever. So that's quite a cool legacy, like 2 quite extreme battles there. Channel 4 called me in, I went and sat at a table with them, and someone said, can you read us a poem? So I read them a poem, and they recorded it on their phone, and that's online at the moment, and that's gone viral completely separately, and it's on about 200,000 views, which for a poem with no hype or anything, just someone reading a poem to someone on a camera is really cool. Even though I think the top comment at the moment on the video is, I hate that guy, I want to punch his face in the face. Which I think is quite a good comment to get. Give a massive round of applause for both support artists, because they're absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I mean that, both of those, wicked. Absolute pleasure to be on the same ability, guys.